If they don't agree to this process, then you get out of there. You get out of there fast. You get out of there, do not pass go, do not collect $200. You get out of there. Do not give them any rates. Okay? You are not there to be the rate giver. We call it in the Sandler world an unpaid consultant. You are not going to give them prices. You're going to get up, you're going to walk out, you're going to give them your card, say, hey, when you're ready to take care of this, here's my card, give me a call. All right? Or you can bam fam and say, you know what? Why don't you guys think about this process, give me a call, I can come back next week, same time. You can be available next time, same time next week. Why aren't you going to give us prices? Joe and Mary, you're not ready to even make a decision. Why would I give you prices? Well, we want to know how much it costs in order to make a decision. Okay, is it really a budget issue or is it a need issue? Well, what do you mean? We want to make sure we can afford it. Okay. Would you like me to explain to you kind of my thoughts on budget? Yes or no? I mean, they can say, yeah, sure, okay. Well, let me explain the budget thing. And I draw it out again because I like to draw things out for people that are visual. They love drawings, okay? Okay, so here's your budget, okay? Now, you just told me that household income's like $7,000 a month, right? Okay, so here's your budget. Okay, isn't a budget kind of a priority list of what you pay off first, what things that are more important here than things that are down here, then you run out of money, and then the nice to haves are 10, 9, 10, 11. These are the nice to haves. If there's any extra money left over after you've done all the necessary things you got to take care of. So let me ask you, when you get your paycheck at the beginning of the month, explain to me what is the first thing that you take care of? Well, I mean, we pay our mortgage first. Okay, great. So your mortgage is the first thing. What's the next bill that's most important? Well, both our cars are, we've got bank loans for those, and that's how we get to work and how we, get the family around. So, our car payments. Okay, great. Okay, what else is important? Probably cable, right? You got NFL Sunday Ticket. I kind of joke about that, but for a lot of people, their cable bill's up there, even over food, okay, and clothing and basic necessities. Say, well, what's next? They usually say utilities, probably, gas, electric, utilities, food, whatever. They kind of do other things, all right? And I say, okay, well, awesome. So pretty soon you're going to run out of money, and then all these other things are nice to have. So when you're talking about budget, you're asking basically if the decision is down here between 8 and 9. What up here can go down to 9, and what up down here go up to 8? Where can it all fit in above this line? Isn't that what you're talking? Basically what you're telling me is, does that payment fit up in here, like right here, because that's the line, whether or not it fits in your budget? Because if it doesn't, then it goes to, maybe taking a cruise, okay, putting money away for a cruise, whatever else is down here, buying a Corvette, that'd be nice to have, moving into a 10,000 square foot home, whatever. I mean, that's down here, right? So you're trying to determine, you're telling me you're trying to determine if it fits above the line or below the line, right? Okay, what I just did is I used an NLP process called reframing the argument. This whole thing is an NLP thing on reframing. Okay, so what you did is you reframed the budget to telling them how they're thinking, whether it's down here, whether it's 8 or 9. Okay, and it's easy when you draw it out because you can point to it. Okay, now I say, now let's look at your top priorities. So you're paying your mortgage on your house. Let me ask you, if your house burned down, if it got broken into, if you had a flood, is all that repair and stuff going to come out of your pocket, or what do you have to protect against those? You say, well, I mean, obviously we have insurance. Oh, okay, so really it's not just the mortgage payment. Your insurance to cover the home is there to make sure that the mortgage, that your house is taken care of. So we should probably put your insurance up there, right? Yeah, okay. Now let me ask you about your car. Like if you get into a collision, if someone runs into you, does that come out of your pocket? Or, well, you know, insurance is mandatory in this state. Oh, okay, so it's not just a car payment or mortgage payment. There's also an insurance payment right here too, right? Okay, again, you ask a question. Remember, this is all asking questions. You're not putting words in their mouth. You're pulling it out of them because you're asking questions. All right, so, interesting. So you got insurance on the mortgage, you got insurance on the car payment, or on the car, Now, by this time, if they aren't brain dead, they should be following this. Okay, but if they're not, okay, so let me ask you, this is you, right? You, Joe, and maybe you, Mary, that bring this money in. Okay, there's your hair. See, these two things you have insurance on just in case something happens, but who makes this budget possible? And then I shut the heck up and I let them answer that question. So is it really an issue of 8 or 9, or is it more of an issue as far as putting it up here and then the line's drawn here? Maybe instead of NFL Sunday Ticket and your, mega cable channels, you drop it down and the money goes up here where it's in your priority system in your budget. So really, we're not really talking about budget, are we? You just want to, sounds to me like maybe you're looking to feel more comfortable with the process. Is that right? And then, man, I'm selling. I am relentless. I am selling. I'm closing them because I ask questions on the stupid budget thing, because this is stupid. When, like, in your mind, you better be convinced that the budget excuse is not an excuse to protect your families. Yeah, they need to have money to do it, but it's not a decision on whether to do it or not. It's the decision down here on what goes below the daggum line, right? And you need to be convinced about that, because if you're not convinced, they're not going to be convinced. Duh. Does that make sense? I find that more agents bring up objections because of the way they think about stuff than their clients do, because you are projecting your objections into them. Like, you would think, oh gosh, I wouldn't pay that much for a policy. That's in your head. You know what happens is out of your words and out of your body language, you're conveying to them, right, that you wouldn't do it. And then they're getting those vibes and then they wouldn't want to do it. You have no idea. They pick that stuff up. It's a big NLP thing, neuro-linguistic programming thing, that you are like putting into their head. So the thing in your head is you got to be convinced that it ain't no budget excuse. You got to be the first one that has to be convinced. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. All right, so the old guy stopped ranting. Get off my lawn. Just kidding. I'm going to unmute and see if any...
All participants are unmuted.